We've all been there. You're walking along, snack in hand, and suddenly, splat. Your delicious treat takes a tumble, landing face down on the floor. But wait, is that the 5-second rule I hear whispering in your ear? Don't worry, it's only been 3 seconds, you can totally still eat it, right? Hold on there, bucko. Before you pop that potentially contaminated morsel into your mouth, let's investigate the science behind this pervasive food myth. Is the 5-second rule a legitimate safeguard against a mouthful of germs? Or is it just a load of baloney? Which, by the way, you should definitely not eat off the floor. The 5-second rule, despite its catchy name and widespread acceptance, is more about wishful thinking than actual food safety. While it might offer some comfort in the heat of the moment, the truth is, bacteria don't play by our arbitrary time limits. So, if you're looking for a scientifically sound reason to justify your floor food cravings, you're out of luck. But hey, don't despair. Let's dive into the fascinating world of food hygiene, explore the origins of this enduring myth, and arm ourselves with the knowledge to make safe and healthy eating choices. After all, when it comes to our well-being, it's always better to be safe than sorry. Stay tuned. The 5-second rule sounds like something someone's mom made up, right? Well, maybe it was. The origins of this food myth are shrouded in mystery, with no definitive source to pinpoint its creation. However, there are a few intriguing historical anecdotes that offer some possible clues. Legend has it that the great Mongol conqueror Genghis Khan had a rule in his court that food dropped on the floor was still perfectly fine to eat, regardless of how long it had been there. Khan believed that food prepared for him was essentially above any earthly contamination. Now, whether this tale is true or simply a product of centuries of storytelling is up for debate. Another possible origin story dates back to the 19th century and the realm of bacteria. With the advent of the microscope and the burgeoning field of microbiology, scientists began to unveil the invisible world of microorganisms, including those that reside on our food and in our environment. This newfound awareness of germs may have sparked a desire to establish some kind of time limit for when food became contaminated, hence the 5-second rule. While these historical tidbits offer some entertaining possibilities, the true origins of the 5-second rule remain elusive. One thing is for sure though, the human fascination with pushing the boundaries of food safety is nothing new. So the next time you find yourself staring down at a fallen snack, remember, you're participating in a long and storied tradition of questionable eating habits. Okay, so the origins of the 5-second rule might be a bit hazy, but what does science have to say about this age-old question? Well, you might be surprised to learn that scientists have actually put the 5-second rule to the test, and the results are in. Spoiler alert, bacteria don't mess around. One of the most well-known studies on the 5-second rule was conducted at Rutgers University. Researchers tested the transfer of bacteria from various surfaces, carpet, tile, wood, to different types of food, watermelon, bread, gummy candy. They dropped the food samples from a height of 5 inches and measured the amount of bacteria transferred after different contact times. Less than 1 second, 5 seconds, 30 seconds, and 300 seconds. The results? While longer contact times did result in more bacteria transfer, even contact for less than 1 second was enough to contaminate the food. This means that, contrary to popular belief, bacteria don't waste any time in hitching a ride on your dropped snacks. The type of surface also played a role, with carpet transferring the least amount of bacteria compared to tile and wood. So, while the 5-second rule might make us feel a little better about our occasional floor food encounters, the science is clear. Bacteria are quick and opportunistic, and they don't adhere to our arbitrary time limits. Sorry folks, but the 5-second rule is busted. Section 4. Germs on the move. How fast can bacteria hitch a ride? We've established that bacteria are quick to the draw when it comes to contaminating our dropped food, but just how fast are we talking? Well, get ready to be amazed because these microscopic ninjas are faster than you might think. Bacteria don't have legs or wings, so they rely on other means of transportation to get around. One of their favorite modes of travel is something called surface adhesion. This basically means that bacteria have special structures on their outer surfaces that allow them to stick to, well, pretty much anything. This sticky ability is what allows them to cling to surfaces like floors, countertops, and even your hands. Now, imagine you drop a piece of food on the floor. The moment that food makes contact with the surface, any bacteria present on that surface have an open invitation to hop aboard. And trust me, they don't need a lot of encouragement. The moisture and nutrients present in food provide the perfect environment for bacteria to thrive, so they waste no time in setting up shop. The type of food also plays a role in how easily bacteria can transfer. Wet, sticky foods like watermelon or a dropped ice cream cone offer more surface area for bacteria to cling to, while drier foods like crackers or pretzels might pick up fewer hitchhikers. But regardless of the food, one thing is certain. Bacteria are incredibly efficient at colonizing new environments, and the 5-second rule is simply not fast enough to outsmart them. Section 5, A Little Dirt Never Hurt, the Hygiene Hypothesis. Okay, so we've established that the 5-second rule is a bust and that bacteria are incredibly efficient at contaminating our food. But before you swear off all things dropped forever, let's take a moment to consider the flip side of the bacteria coin, the hygiene hypothesis. The hygiene hypothesis suggests that exposure to certain types of bacteria, particularly in early childhood, can actually be beneficial for our immune systems. The idea is that by encountering a diverse range of microorganisms, our immune systems learn to differentiate between harmless and harmful microbes, ultimately making us more resilient to allergies and autoimmune diseases. Now, before you go digging for dropped treasures in the name of boosting your immune system, it's important to note that the hygiene hypothesis is a complex issue with ongoing research and debate within the scientific community. While some studies have shown a correlation between early exposure to certain bacteria and a lower risk of allergies and asthma, more research is needed to fully understand the mechanisms at play and the long-term implications. The key takeaway here is that not all bacteria are created equal. While some bacteria can cause illness, others are harmless or even beneficial to our health. The hygiene hypothesis reminds us that a healthy balance is key. We want to avoid harmful pathogens, of course, but we also don't want to live in a sterile bubble. So go ahead, let your kids play in the dirt, within reason of course. And don't stress too much about the occasional dropped cookie. Just maybe not the one that landed in the dog bowl.